Nobody talks about what happens after you hit $1 million a year. And this episode, I'm going to talk about the 5 things I had to start doing as soon as we hit 7 figures. And let me tell you, I wish I knew these things before, because when we hit 7 figures, I was like, have I broken something? Am I doing something terribly wrong? And so in this episode, I'm going to talk about the 5 big shifts I had to make once I hit $1 million a year. I hope you love it. In the last episode, I shared the 5 things I had to let go of in order to hit 7 figures in my business. And in this episode, I'm going to talk about the things that I had to start doing after I hit 7 figures. Now, what I found really surprising is that once we kind of passed this $1 million milestone, which was my goal for so long, to build this $1 million business, that's what I was working towards. I wasn't expecting all of the shifts that I would need to make once I got there. I was kind of just racing to that finish line and then kind of realized, oh crap, I've got to kind of change some things and fix some things. Some things definitely broke when we hit $1 million a year. And so in this episode, I'm going to share with you though what those things were and what I had to start doing as the leader and as the face of the brand. So let's do it. So the first thing I had to start doing was I had to become a real leader. Not just a doer or a creative anymore. I had to put on my leadership hat. And I've talked about this a lot on the podcast, but it is not something that necessarily came naturally to me. I struggle with managing people. It's not like I want to be liked. And so managing people, setting expectations, giving them feedback, having tough conversations, those things are part of the gig of being a leader. And so I've had to learn a lot of this. And my team is very gracious and they're amazing to work with. And I am very blessed that they deal with me as I grow and learn in this, because it is such a work in progress for me, learning how to lead people. And a big part of that too was actually Nath and I, my husband, we work in the business together. We had to sit down and we had to really set clear intentions of, okay, what are our values as business owners, as individuals, as a family? You know, we're married. What are our values? What do we actually really care about? What is it that we want to build? What do we want to be known for? Then we wanted to think about, okay, well, what's our culture? The people that interact with us, our team, our clients, you in the audience, like how do I want you to feel? What do I really want our culture to be? And how do we intentionally build that, not just kind of organically let it happen? And so that's been really important for us. It's the vision, it's the values and the culture. I think that once we got clearer on that, and even clearer on the direction of the business, we actually made a decision to stop talking about our goals in terms of money goals, and we just started talking about it in terms of client goals. Okay, we want to hit 1,000 members in our programs. That's my big, scary, crazy goal. And so talking about it like that feels way more aligned for me and way more exciting for me than saying, I want to reach this specific money outcome in the business. And the cool thing about that is if the goal and the vision of the business is to help people, then the money stuff sorts itself out. And so I've really been inspired by that recently to go, okay, cool. This is how many people I want to help. This is the impact I want to have. And the money stuff's going to follow. And that's cool. And we need to make money because that's how we can keep operating and keep showing up. But if our big objective is helping as many people. So I think coming back to the vision, coming back to the culture, the values, and then instilling that and empowering our team to hold those values, to hold us to a standard and hold themselves to those standards, I think is so, so powerful. So when we have a clear vision, everyone on the team is on board and they understand where we're going. Really, really important. When we have clear values, we know, okay, well, this is where we're going, but this is how we're going to operate and show up to get there. This is how we do things around here. I think that's really, really important. And when we have the culture is how we live and breathe that in our day-to-day. The culture is so important because it's the thing that I will fiercely protect, because we've built an amazing community, we've built an amazing culture, and I will fight to protect that at all costs, because at the end of the day, I think that's how people remember you. So it's really, really important. So stepping into this leadership role was really powerful for me and a really big shift. And it's still a work in progress, if I'm being completely honest. I'm still learning how to do this well. But moving out of that, I'm just a creative, I'm just a doer, into, no, I'm actually a leader. Really important. So the second thing we had to start doing, this is very practical, like compared to the leadership thing, which is very deep and like big. This is very practical and simple. We actually had to rebuild our CRM. So your CRM is your customer relationship management. So it's the tool that manages your leads, and your clients. And so we realized that ours was kind of duct taped together. So we were using ClickUp as our CRM because we used it for our project management. So we were using it to manage all of our clients, send emails, do all the things through there. It was fine. But once you start pushing 100, 200 clients, it's not fine. And so for us, again, to scale beyond where we are, we had to step into and build out a new CRM. So we moved everything over to Go High Level. The big objective here was we wanted any of our support team, any of our coaches to be able to step into, look at a client and go, okay, cool, this person needs help here, here, and here. We wanted our salespeople to have all the notes, all the files, all the details that they needed on that particular prospect. And so we really wanted to make it easy and seamless for our sales team, for our delivery team to support our clients to win. And that meant that we needed to reduce the friction and have one source of truth. Really important. The cool thing about Go High Level as well is that it also became our funnel software. So all our landing pages happen there. It became our payment software as well. So we plug Stripe into that. It looks after all the payments. It's also our email marketing provider. So it does a lot of really, really good things. It kind of meant that we didn't have to have as many like Zapier integrations to plug everything in and kind of duct tape a system together. We now have this beautiful vertical that is very simple, very powerful, and it means that we've really got one core system that we're running to manage all of our clients and our leads. Highly recommend. So you'll hear me say this all the time, but scaling isn't about adding complexity. It's about simplifying your business. If we want to scale, we cannot scale chaos. We need to simplify, we need to streamline, and then we can amplify from there. There's no doubt that running a creative business and scaling a creative business can be challenging, especially if you don't have a plan. That's why I put together the system, which is where I walk you through my 3-step system that helps creatives just like you to scale to 30K, 50K, and even 100K months. So if you want more from your creative business, if you want to scale without burning out or losing your soul or working with clients that suck, then this is for you. Head to the link and you can unlock my full system today. The third thing we had to start doing is we had to really get specific on the numbers that matter in our business. And so this was a really big one. Within each department in the business, we had to identify the numbers that matter. And so now each person, each leader in their departments is responsible for a handful of numbers. And those are their KPIs. That is their scorecard, the thing that we are like, cool, we are measuring your success. We're measuring our success based on these clear numbers. And that just tells us if we're winning. It tells us what we need to tweak, what we need to optimize, what we need to kind of look at. And I think when we have numbers and when we have clarity on the data, we can make far more informed decisions and we can make decisions at pace. So here are some of the numbers that we are measuring. We're measuring cost of acquisition. How much does it cost us to acquire a client? We're measuring lifetime value. How long does a customer stay with us for? And what is the value of that? Then we're also measuring churn. Okay, like what happens? How long does someone stay? When do they drop off? When do they leave our programs? We need to look at our churn rate, right? Then in terms of marketing, we're looking at, well, how many people are downloading the podcast? How many people are following us? How many email subscribers are we getting? How many calls are we getting booked every single month? And then we have sales metrics we need to be tracking as well. We have Facebook ad metrics that we're tracking. But it's really important that each department has responsibility and ownership over their numbers. And that was a big change that we made. And it's been so powerful to see once people know what numbers we need to measure and once they know what they are responsible for, they will own it. And that's been really cool. Number 4, I doubled down on my genius zone. I had this conversation recently with a mentor of mine, and I was like, I think I need to hire someone to help me with the marketing because I'm kind of like the marketing person. The reason I'm the marketing person is because I'm good at it. It's been what I've always done. I love it. But I was like, I think I just need to get someone to help. And essentially I was trying to find a mini me to help with the marketing. So I sat down with Tony, my friend, and she was like, listen, I don't think you need another you. I think you actually are looking at this wrong. And I think maybe you need to stay in that spot and you need to hire elsewhere. And we need to look at where else your time is leaking. Where else are you being drained? Where else could you maybe be outsourcing and delegating some stuff? I was like, yes, that makes so much sense. And after she said it, I was like, that's so obvious, of course. But at the time, I started to outsource my genius zone. And I started to kind of scale myself out of the things that I really love doing and the things that I'm really good at. So I think it's really easy for us as we scale to start to, we go on a delegation spree and we're like, I'm going to delegate this, outsource that, hire someone for this, automate that. And then we kind of realize, crap, am I doing the thing that I love doing? Am I doing the thing that only I can do that is like my magic? I realized that I very quickly could have outsourced all the things that bring me joy. And so I think it's really important to stay really close to your genius zone and the thing that lights you up, the thing that people are like, man, you're good at that. Like, what are the things that are effortless to you? Stay there. It's really powerful. The final thing we had to start doing is we started to actually build a core team. For a long time, what really got us to 7 figures was mostly contractors. Like I think the only people employed were me and Nath, technically. And so we had contractors and that worked really well. And I'm a huge fan of using contractors for the flexibility. It's really great when you don't necessarily have as much cash flow, or maybe you don't have as much predictability in your income and you're a bit scared to hire and employ someone. I totally get that. And I think it's really smart to do that, especially when you're starting out. But for us, we're now running this $1 million thing, and we realized, okay, we've had these people with us for a long time. We should really start employing people and setting them up as leaders in our business. And so we moved into departments in our business. And so we have a head of marketing, which is me. We have a head of sales. We have a head of delivery, and we have a head of coaching. And so each person is all in on the vision. Like, we're kind of their main source of income. So they're really all in on the team. They're really all in on the business. And so it means that they're not distracted. It means they're also secure and content in their setup too, which is really important to me. And so I think there's something powerful about moving from what I call contractor energy, which is where people float in and out and it's a little bit chaotic and you've got freelancers everywhere or VAs everywhere and nobody's like full-time and nobody's all in, to moving into having some employees, having a denser team, so less people, but more responsibility. I really love that model and it's working really well for us now. I actually was on a coaching call with Sam Ovens, the guy who runs School, and he talked about this. He was like comparing School to Kajabi, and he was saying that School only has like 30 employees, whereas Kajabi has like hundreds, if not 1,000 employees. So they've got so many people working for them. And he was like, I would rather a dense, small team than having hundreds of employees. And that really stuck with me. And that's when we made this shift of, okay, we don't need 20 different contractors. We probably only need like a handful of full-time employed people. And then we bring in contractors for projects or specialist skills. So I've really found that's helpful for me. Hopefully it's helpful for you. So if you want to hit 7 figures, or maybe you have hit 7 figures and maybe you're kind of like relating to a lot of this, I will say it forced me to level up very quickly. It forced me to zoom right out. It's also forced me to slow down, to make sure I'm managing my own energy. It's really been a season of, all right, what got me here won't get me there. And my next level in business requires my next level identity. Anytime we level up in business, I'm always reminded that there's so much more to learn. And so if you're watching this, listening to this, and you're like, man, maybe you're in a season where you feel the tension right now. I want you to know you're not alone. It's totally normal. It means that you're growing, and it means that you're stepping into something new and stepping into maybe something that's uncomfortable for now. But we have to push through those seasons to get to the other side, to get to the better part, which is waiting for you. I also want to say, if you have a vision of hitting $1 million a year, whatever your big, scary goal is, and you would like help, then I want to invite you to apply to join me in the Next Level Club. This is where I'm helping creatives to scale to 100K months and beyond. If this feels like, man, I need to know some of this stuff, I need to learn these skills, then this is the place for you. If you're a creative, if you're ambitious, if you are ready for your next level, then I want to encourage you to click the link in the show notes and book a call with my team, and we can let you know if we can help you to scale and to reach your big, scary goal. I love your work, my friend. I'll catch you soon.